Hello and welcome to the Sound Lab podcast interviews unedited. On today's show, we have interviews from Daði Freyr, Will Brown, VUKOVI and Carl Palmer. Plus we throw back in time to 2022 to chat to Steps. So without further ado, it's time for our first interview and it comes from Daði Freyr. You'll know him from Eurovision and he's been busy releasing new music and we had a chat with him all about it. So Daði Freyr, how are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
Good, yeah, not too bad. Thanks so much. So you've just released a brand new record called Too Much Is Not Enough. Tell us a bit about your new record.
Yeah, so it's released like a month ago, and most of it is written and recorded in Berlin, where I used to live before I moved to Iceland a year ago. And it's like my most collaborative probably project so far, where there's only one song that I wrote by myself, but the rest is like co-written by a bunch of different people. So I did some songwriting sessions and stuff, which is new to me. The album before this album was only written and produced by me, so it's a little pivot from that. And it's about just being me.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And as it's a more collaborative record, what was the reason behind wanting to do it this way rather than sticking to just yourself?
I was getting just bored of being alone in the studio. I think that's the biggest reason. I wanted to get out of my comfort zone a little bit and get more, just have more fun writing the music. I spent a lot of time alone in the studio, and I needed to minimize that a little bit.
Yeah, no, I can well imagine. And how did these collaborations come about, and how did you decide who you wanted to work with?
Well, some of them are just my closest friends, like Jökull, Lausdís, and Atli and Ylva are like just very good friends of mine, and Hulda as well. And then some of them came through the publishing company. Mm-hmm. So a lot of them I had never met like before. I just went into a studio with strangers, and then we have a limited time to get to know each other really fast, and then write a song. That was new to me. I've made a bunch of music with my friends, but I've never like had these sessions where I go and meet professional musicians to make music that I didn't know before.
Yeah, no, fair enough. And the sound that you've made with this record, is it the sound you wanted, or is it kind of how it turned out as you were writing and recording it?
I think for most of my music in general, it's just what comes out. I don't have a super clear idea beforehand, and it just kind of has to happen in the music making process. Like if I have a clear idea of something I want to make before I go into the studio, usually it'll always turn out to be something completely different anyways. So yeah, I kind of have to just learn what it is as it's happening.
Yeah, and obviously this is 3 records in now. How does this record sound in comparison to your previous releases?
I feel like this is like by far the most cohesive thing. Like I feel like it really makes sense as an album and less a collection of songs. I feel like the sound is way more polished. I feel like my ideas are more clear, and I am the most happy with this album so far.
Yeah, that's good to hear. And I'm sure you wrote more than what made it onto the record. What happens to those tracks now? Do you consider them again next time round, or is it a case of starting afresh when the time comes?
I'm gonna work on a few of them for like a deluxe release, but outside of that, like these songs kind of they are this project. So whatever leftover songs I don't use for that, I don't think I'm gonna. I'll use them for something probably at some point, but like it's not gonna be on the next album or anything. Like I haven't written anything for the next album yet.
No, I'm not surprised. And I'd like to talk a bit about the writing process as well. So, for you, how do tracks normally start off?
I work in Ableton on the computer, so like I'll start from there. The first thing I do every time that I write a new song is open a blank Ableton, uh, and then I'll usually go for drums and bass at first because I'm very like groove driven. So yeah, that's usually where I go from. I don't usually have like a chord progression in mind or something like that. I'll just kind of find what the mood is and then go from there. And then usually I'll have something of a production before I even start like singing over it. And then in the end, because I can't just say la 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 the whole time, I have to write some lyrics. So that takes me a little bit more time. It's a little less like free for me in a way to write lyrics because I have to just like actually think while the music just kind of comes out.
Yeah, and how straightforward do you find it to add those lyrics to the music you've already created?
It's very different. Sometimes it just kind of comes out, but sometimes I really have to just yeah. It kind of feels like writing an essay for like or doing some school like homework or something like that. Like it's not the fun part for me writing lyrics.
No, fair enough. And people will now want to see you doing some shows. And I know you've just been here in the UK. How was that?
Yeah, it was fun. Did some record store shows, like small, intimate. Met some people, signed some records. It was nice.
Nice. And what's it like doing a small, intimate record store show in comparison to those bigger shows that you normally do?
It's just very different. Like I, it's fun to do both. Especially like one of them was in a like a basement kind of thing, so it's like very cramped. I think like 80 people fit in there, and that's like more of the kind of shows that I used to do like a few years ago, which is just like dark, moist, like a sweaty gig. I like doing those as well.
Yeah, they provide a nice contrast, I'm sure. And for the rest of this year, you've already got some dates booked in, a few European shows, including where you are in Iceland. You've got a North America tour as well. I bet you can't wait to be over there and doing some more shows.
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Yeah, very excited for that. Gonna make like a fully new kind of live set, new visuals and all of that. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, I can
And then
imagine.
after that, I'm doing a show with the Iceland Symphony Orchestra, which is like a bucket list kind of thing for me. So that's gonna be good too.
Yeah, is there going to be much work that needs to be done when you team up with the orchestra?
I mean, I'm getting all like composers or like to arrangers to make that for me. I have no idea how to make a thing for an orchestra. I don't really read sheet music. I mean, I can a little bit, but not really. So yeah, I'm just gonna come there and say what I like and what I don't like, and then I'm just gonna sing the songs.
Fair enough. And you've still got some free dates this year to get some more shows in. Are you hoping to add any more into the calendar?
Um, Not necessarily. There's a yeah, I've been playing a lot, and I also just wanna have a summer with my family in Iceland. Yeah, it's already I have like 2 weekends free, and I just found out this morning that one of them is probably not free anymore. So then I have one.
A busy life for you indeed. And what do you think 2027 is going to have for you? Is it shows? Is it writing, releasing music year? What's kind of in the mind at the moment for next year?
I think I'm gonna yeah be writing a bunch. for that. I don't have plans on necessarily to like releasing an album or anything like that right away. We'll see how fast the music comes. Probably gonna do a do some touring and yeah, basically just make some more make some more art.
Nice. Sounds like fun. And you first came into my mind with your music when you appeared on Eurovision a fair few years ago. Now, tell us a bit about what it was like to represent your country on Eurovision.
Yeah, it was cool. Like it was uh like in 2020 it was cancelled, so we got to do it again the next year, and then it was very COVID um, heavy, and one of our members got COVID, so we didn't actually end up being at the competition. So that experience in itself wasn't like ideal, but I got a lot of exposure, so I'm happy with that.
Yeah, sounds good to me. And obviously, I think things are pretty much similar to as it was when you performed. Aside from the COVID side of things, are you still enjoying Eurovision today? Because it's gone quite political and unfriendly in places. So, how are you finding it?
I didn't uh, watch any of it this year, so I didn't listen to a song and I didn't watch the show. So yeah, I'm out.
Do you think you will in the future?
We'll see if they get their head out of their ass, maybe.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Daði Freyr to talk about new music and more. Now, we are all over social media, so come and find us at The Sound Lab Yes on all the socials. You can also check out the website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk. So while you go and find us on the socials and give us some follows, of course, we've got our next interview from Will Brown. He too has been busy releasing brand new music, and we had a chat with him all about it. So, Will Brown, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you doing?
Good, yeah, not bad. Thanks so much. So, we've been playing a single of yours called Scars and Glory. Tell us a bit about the single, first of all.
Scars and Glory is my latest release and, well, previous latest release. And Scars and Glory is about allowing yourself is to be vulnerable. And sometimes when you do that, you can get hurt. And it was that moment when I did. After doing the work on myself, I finally let down my guards and began sharing some insecurities and um, some private things about myself to a few people, and one in particular took those insecurities and used them against me. And at the time, it was very hurtful, but I realized those scars are exactly what created me to be this stronger individual that I am today. And yeah, and that's Scars and Glory.
Nice. And yeah, nice to take some positives out of some negativity in your life. And
Yeah.
some other good news is that it's off your new EP, which is also out now. Welcome to Brownsville. For those who've not had a chance to listen to it, tell us a bit about the release.
Yeah, so my new EP, Welcome to Brownsville, is me welcoming everyone into this world I had been building for so long. And Welcome to Brownsville is that space that you need when you feel like life is just getting too heavy for you, when there's so much going on, because there's so much going on in the world, and we're dealing with the political spectrum of everything, and then also we're dealing with personal issues. And Brownsville is that space where you can kind of escape to, is to kind of breathe and kind of help make sense of everything that's going on, and also kind of get answers and get the hope and inspiration that you need is to overcome those situations you're going through in life. So I kind of liken it to Brownsville being that space you need when you want to go for a walk in the park. It's just to kind of clear your mind and clear your head. And it's also a space where you're not running away from your problems, but you're running towards them. And it's a space that helps you face those problems and also give you a little bit of hope as well.
Mhm. Yeah, nice. Good to hear. And you're one for liking to do alternative versions of the singles, be it acoustic or have remixes done of your tracks. Is that something you want to keep doing?
I do, because all of my songs can be stripped down to an acoustic version, because most of my songs is all about storytelling, and I love storytelling. And I also like the mix of it because when it's the original track, when it's the upbeat version, it has a different emotion to it. And then when you strip it back, it also has another different emotion to it and another different element to it. So, especially in particular, Mr. Turner song, I've done Scars and Glory stripped back, which is really great. And then also Welcome to Brownsville as well.
Nice, yeah, great to hear. And the sound that you've made with this EP, is it one you wanted, or is it kind of just how it turned out as you were writing and recording it?
It's exactly how I wanted it. I wanted it, I didn't want it to be just one particular genre of music, because Brownsville is an all-inclusive space. And so I wanted to give at least a broad spectrum of the listeners something that they could enjoy and that they would like. Some would like Golden, some would like Welcome to Brownsville, some will like Mr. Turner's song, so forth and so on. So Brownsville is pretty much this project is the soundtrack of Brownsville, and it's exactly what I wanted to present because you won't know what the album is going to sound like because the album could eventually sound like Welcome to Brownsville. It could sound like Mr. Turner's song, or it could sound like Golden. So, yeah, this is exactly how I wanted it to feel, how I wanted it to sound
Yeah,
sonically.
yeah, nice. And it sounds like you're working towards your record now.
I am. I have already began writing and creating ideas for the album. So,
And at this stage, do you have an idea of where you want it to go?
in regards to the
Sound or storytelling or everything really?
I have a couple of ideas that I'm playing with. So I'm not really just sure just yet, but there's some ideas happening that's rolling around in my head. I just need to put pen to paper.
Nice, sounds good to me. And I'd like to talk a bit about the writing process as well. So for you, how do tracks normally start off?
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
How do tracks normally start off?
So for me, it usually starts off, it really depends. For the EP, it started off with some melodies. And then I would get a couple of melodies in my head, and then I wanted to structure a EP. So then I went in and structured how I wanted to tell the story and present it. And then once I kind of bullet pointed everything, that's when I started putting the songs together. And I went into some writing sessions with a clear direction and a clear mind of exactly what I wanted to write about, talk about, how I wanted it to sound. And then we just begun writing from there. And each session that I came out of is what you hear on the EP.
Yeah, and even though you are a solo artist, how much collaboration is there between you and others when it comes to writing?
For this EP, this was my first time collabing with several different other writers. I love collaborations because each person that I'm in a room with, they bring a different perspective, and it also helps open up my creative mind because you aren't so siloed because you can get kind of stuck in your own head, and you need that extra person just to help pull you out of that space. And that's how I felt what happened with this particular project, working with a ton of different artists. One in particular, I went to Ireland and wrote with Steve Garrigan of Codaline. Him and Kim McSwaney, who's another artist out of Ireland. Wrote Welcome to Brownsville and I Found You together. And that was an incredible experience. And I wanted to link up with Steve because he is a great storyteller. His lyrics is a great storyteller, and that's what I wanted for the EP because it's about telling this story of Welcome to Brownsville and some of the characters that are in Brownsville.
Nice. And do you think going forward you'll be collaborating more, especially when it comes to the album, or do you think you might revert back to the solo writing that you did before?
No, I like to collaborate. I love to collaborate because, again, I like hearing different people's different perspectives. Because as an artist, most of us, and most people, and just with kind of anything in general, for me, I can be very picky and nitpick the smallest thing, and then I end up losing. I end up losing something that could be good because I feel like it's not good enough. I'm like, what? Okay, it got to be something better, or I'm not really trusting myself. So I feel like collaborating with other artists is perfect for me. That's what I like and that's what I prefer.
No, that's good to hear. And I'd like to talk a bit about the touring as well, because people will want to see you doing some shows, especially now the EP is out. What's your plans this year and getting on the road?
So this year, one of the big things that I'm preparing for is I am doing a couple of support dates for Jules Holland. So I'll be on tour with him for three of his dates in June and July, the end of June and beginning of July, which I'm very excited about. And then I have some shows coming up in France, and then some more shows coming up in London in the summertime.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds like fun. And I'm sure you'll be wanting to get to other places around the world as well. Where have you not got booked in that you want to get to at some point?
In London or just
Around the
around?
world.
I would love to get booked into the Troubadour in Los Angeles. I would love that. And then yeah, just some different venues around. I would love to. I will have to play a show in Kansas City since that's where I'm from. I would love to play a show there. And that's something that I'm strongly thinking about maybe for the fall. So yeah, just Los Angeles, the Troubadour for sure. That's one place that I would love to play at because it's so iconic. Because I've played here at the Troubadour in London.
Yeah, no, I can well imagine. And I'd like to talk a bit about show day as well. So for you, what does a show day look like from the moment you get up until the show itself?
Well, so when I get up every single morning, I have to go and do cardio. That's like my cup of coffee. So I go and do my cardio, and that kind of prepares me for the day, clears my head. I'm listening to music, then come home, shower, do some vocal warm-ups, do some steaming, and then it's off to the races. Head to the venue, do a sound check. Sometimes if I do get a chance, if it's depending on what time it is, I go for a nice little walk because that's like meditation for me. Go for a nice little walk, then come back home, figure out what I'm wearing, and then it's go time.
Nice. Yeah, sounds good. And just before you step foot on stage, is there anything you have to do, or is there anything that you have to not do before you go out there and perform?
I have to FaceTime my parents. I have to FaceTime my parents, and then I have to have a prayer. Have a prayer with a group, with a band and the group. Yeah. And then deep breaths, realize that I was meant to be in this space, and then I just go forward. Yeah.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Will Brown to talk about new music and more. Now, if you're listening to us on Spotify, then you'll be pleased to hear we also have a Spotify playlist. It's called Fresh, and it brings you 150 brand new up-and-coming artists that we feel like you might just enjoy yourselves. And if you want to check that out, search Fresh by The Sound Lab on Spotify, or head to the website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk, and click on the Fresh playlist button. So while you go and find our playlist on Spotify to save and listen to later on, of course, we've got our next new interview from VUKOVI. Had a chat with Hamish of the band at Slam Dunk Festival just a few weeks ago, and this is what he had to say. So VUKOVI, how are you?
I'm good. Long time. Good to see you.
I know, yeah, you too.
It's been a minute.
Yeah, you're back at Slam Dunk as well.
Yep.
How does it feel to be back?
We're really excited, man. Really, really excited. We just seen Unpeople,
Yep.
which got us so hyped up at 12:30. Do you know what I mean? So we're buzzing, man. But it is. I mean, you can't tell, but it's very hot. And
It is.
Our bus that we're on, the cooling is broken, so it's like a fucking sauna. It's yeah.
Oh dear.
So, but oh man, we're so excited. I'm so excited.
Yeah, for sure, and you've got a whole weekend of it as well, and
Yeah.
it should be nice, so.
We got to pace ourselves tonight, I think, a wee bit, but yeah.
Are you planning on catching anyone else this weekend?
I would like to see Boston Manor if we've got time, who I think are on in about an hour, and then I would like to see Knock Loose as well.
Yeah.
Or Good Charlotte. I think they kind of clash. So
Yeah, which one are you going to?
I want to see Knock Loose because it just is such a special. That'll be wild.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. Tomorrow I would like to see some people I've not seen today. I would like to see Static Dress tomorrow if possible, if we get time. Maybe Malevolence as well. I don't know. There's a lot of clashes, man. There's a lot of clashes. I don't know.
They've done it intentionally.
I know, bastards. I know. Thank you for
Terrible.
booking us, but bastards.
And once you finish here this weekend, what's the plan next?
So we were just saying that we're just writing.
Yeah.
We're literally started recording last week. We're working on our next single at the moment, which will be maybe part of the next album. But we're not doing a lot of festivals this year. We're doing a few shows after summer, so we were like, let's just start writing the next record, whatever that turns out to be. So that's going to be our summer, literally. June and July, we're just going to get our heads down and just see what we can come up with. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We literally came up with about 3 tunes a couple months ago, and we were like, let's just pick one and just fucking release it. Like, fuck it. So that's the kind of post-summer plan at the moment.
Good, yeah. And obviously the last record came out at the start of last year. I believe.
Yeah. That's insane, by the way. Yeah.
Do you know the direction you're kind of wanting to take the next one now?
Ooh. That is a really good question. I feel like we were just saying this, we learned a lot on that album. Mm-hmm. We learned a lot about what works and what doesn't work, and certain things to do on our own terms, and take a bit more time with stuff as well. Not feel like we have to rush things so much, which can happen for various reasons. But this time we were like, let's just take our time.
Yeah.
And if something's not ready, then it's not ready. That's okay. Like the last album, we were in Texas recording it, and there was some stuff we went over there that was not finished. There were some choruses that were not finished. The intro to the album wasn't finished. That's quite unusual for us. Mm-hmm. We're usually relatively finished, and I think we don't want to deal with that pressure again. We don't want to feel that. I mean, I like what we did, but it's you feel the weight of that in the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think we want to have time to like sit with the songs and ruminate them a wee bit, and like play them with our drummer and rehearse them a wee bit to be like, does this work? Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Like, so yeah, that's whatever comes out of that, which hopefully means it will just feel very, very together. Hopefully, or chaotic as fuck, man. We'll see. Fuck like the first song that we're working on right now is a bit mad. Okay. It's a bit mental, but it feels
in a good way.
It feels well put together. Yeah, for sure. And the producer was like, "This sounds like you guys, but it doesn't sound like you guys. So take whatever the hell that means." So,
and I guess you probably wanted kind of a little kind of detour away from.
Dude, absolutely. I would like it, and I mean this in a good way, to sound completely different than the last album. Do you know what I mean? As evolved as possible. Young man. Thank you. I'm not professional. Thanks, Sam. Cheers, dude. Free beer.
Why not?
We were saying that earlier. It's like we want it to sound like it's an evolved version, and we're not looking back too much. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Which I think that makes the most sense for us, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And I'd like to talk a little bit about the writing process as well. So for you guys, how do tracks normally start off?
So we both work in Logic. And someone will start a demo, me or Janine, and we'll just send it back and forth to each other. But what we started doing now is, I'll go to Janine's flat, I'll bring my computer, and she's got a big flat screen TV, and we'll literally just set my computer up in our living room on the flat screen TV, and we'll just have a dual headphone, and we'll just sit with a bottle of wine and just fucking start working on it, do you know what I mean? And just like, have fun with it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just be like, this is a bit mad, should we add some samples in here, and just be a bit more experimental with it, with the process. Less separate in our bedrooms doing stuff. We did a lot of stuff like that in the past, where we would bedroom work on it, but now we're trying to be together. We'll bring in an idea, sit together, and let the wine do the work.
Wine do the talking.
Let the wine do the talking. Exactly.
And obviously, with the change to the way of your writing process, do you think you'll continue in this manner, in this way, or do you think you might kind of revert back at some point to the separate
It's been really exciting doing like this, so I think we'll stick like this for the next few songs at least, for sure. I mean, there's times where we can't be together, and a lot of ideas might also start separately, but this has been the most fun we've had writing for a while, man. I really mean that. It's corny, it sounds corny when people say that, but it's like I genuinely mean that. We've had a real buzz off it, so I think we'll continue to do it over summer like this, would be my thought.
Yeah,
and we're together, do you know what I mean? So it allows us to bounce off each other more and be like, do you like this? Do you think that could be better?
Yeah, and obviously you've got your own parts that you do in the band, but is it still rather collaborative where you kind of influence on what the other person's going to do? And
I would say so, yeah, for sure. Especially doing it like this, because if I'm laying down some parts or putting some bits in, or Janine's coming up with some vocal parts or whatever, we're together hearing each other doing it, so we can be there to be like, oh wait, that was cool, see that bit, because sometimes you catch stuff from each other that you don't catch, and that's been exciting to do that and be like, whoa, that was cool, by the way. Like, so that's been really cool for us. We've done that before years ago, but not with Logic in front of us, and not with like a session open that we're already working on. We would maybe used to sit with a guitar in Janine's old flat and we'd do some stuff, but this has felt like the best version of way for us to write so far, I would say.
And you obviously have to tell each other when something's not good,
which is hard to do.
Do you have, because I've spoken to a lot of bands who have a specific way of mentioning that I don't like this? Do you have kind of like a code or something where if there's something you don't like, you kind of do it in nicely?
Such a good question. I feel like there's very little Janine that's come up with, especially when it's like vocal parts that it's always like that's really good, that's sick. Do you know what I mean? Like I usually, for example, if I had written a demo and sent it to Janine and Janine was working on it by herself, I would have full faith that what she sends back will be cool. I have full faith in that. Do you know what I mean? So very rarely is it like that's not good.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like you just sort of learn. We know what works now very much. I mean, we've been doing this for like 15 years or something like that, man. Do you know what I mean? It's like, doesn't mean we're any better. Do you know what I mean? People often make their first album as their best album. Do you know what I mean? But I feel like we know what works for each other, which is really cool.
That's good.
It's so funny you asked that, because I can't think of it very often when we go, that's not very good, by the way. Not rarely, because I think if that was the case, we would consciously know that it could be better, and we would work on it together. Does that, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Or we would already agree that like this could be better. We would just say it out and be like, yeah, I agree with you. Do you know what I mean? That's the deepest thing that would go.
Yeah. No, nice. And we spoke about some shows coming up and festivals and things. But you'll be back into the touring circuit, I'm sure, at some point. Is there anywhere you kind of want to go and play either again, or you've not been to before that you want to go and play at some point?
I mean, the dream for any Scottish band is to headline the Badlands. That's the goal for anyone. Do you know what I mean? And we've thought about it. Like, could we maybe do it at some point at the end of next year? But it kind of depends on where the next album is. Or we've been like, fuck it, do we just fucking do it? Like, like we'll do some singles and so that's the big one for us. I think I would love to get a good support tour. I think we would love to get a good support tour under our belts, like a real European arena support tour. I think we're gagging for something like that. And then hopefully next year we're a bit more in the festival circuit. We're only doing a couple this year. I think we'd love to really be out a lot next year if we can, next summer. But this is the thing, it's like writing, whatever we write next is the most important thing right now. Yeah. And not to feel like, I wish we were playing more shows. Like, let's just work on what we can do right now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not be better about not having more shows or, whatever. So, which makes shows like this extra special.
No, for sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like we're not playing again until August, so this is special for us.
If they want to see you now, this is it.
Exactly. Or you got to wait till August or September. So, but we've always been a bit like that, man. We've never toured as much as our peers, so it's made the shows that we do a bit more special. Which is cool. And hopefully today is a special show. We'll see.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with VUKOVI to talk about new music and playing Slam Dunk Festival just a few weeks ago. Now, if you're loving all of today's interviews, then you can hear them again on our international radio show called Future Hits. It brings you all of today's interviews in an edited form, alongside a load of new music and a live session too. And if you want to check that out, alongside all of our other radio shows that we do, head to the website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk, click on the International Radio Shows button. It'll take you to our Mixcloud page, The Sound Lab UK. So while you go and find all of our radio shows to listen to later on, of course, we've got our final new interview, and it comes from Carl Palmer. He is back and heading out on tour, and we had a chat with him all about it. So Carl Palmer, how are you?
Very well indeed, thank you. Just come back from America and getting ready to leave for South America. So all good.
Yeah, how are the shows been so far over in the States?
Well, we just played we just played Texas for the first time in a long, long time. So we were in that Austin, Texas, sort of Dallas, Phoenix, not Phoenix, sort of Houston area. So pretty good. We don't normally travel that far around, not because we don't want to, we just never had the offers, but they came in. So we picked them up and we did okay. I was quite pleased. I mean, we will definitely go back.
Good. That's great to hear, and I'm sure that the Texas fans would love to hear that too. And as you mentioned, you're about to head off to South America, Peru, Argentina, Brazil, all on the list. How are you catering your shows depending on where you're going, or is it or are things pretty much the same wherever you're going?
The theatres are roughly 1,500 seaters, so basically the stage dimensions are absolutely perfect for the show, for the 3 screens, which are approximately 14 by 8. So it's pretty much exactly what we do in America, and it will be the same as what we do in the UK next February. As you know, we're playing up at Gateshead, and then we're going on to Liverpool and the London Palladium, which is halfway sold. It's 66% sold as of yesterday. I'm really amazed. They only went on sale May the 1st. So very, very pleased, very pleased. I didn't think we'd get this amount of attention. There's been a lot of cynicism towards the sort of the actual concept, because people think I'm just playing with a video. They don't understand, that it's been completely reconstructed, and it's the technical side of it is very simple. It was a video that was recorded at the Royal Albert Hall in the early 90s, and the audio lines were all recorded separately on another machine or machines. The 5-camera shoot was on another machine, which meant if we made a mistake on that night, we could repair just the audio line and it would still marry up with the visuals. Well, once I found that we'd got this flexibility, I forgot all about it. I decided to wipe my drums off and see if I could play with Greg and Keith as if they were in the room with me. So I did that, and then I had the 8 to 11 week sort of kind of editing to get me out of the video, make sure that they're still looking right, and fill it in with something else or whatever, because I had to remove myself because I'd be playing in situ with a click track with them. So that's what we've got going, and we've developed it. It's a 2-hour show, roughly. We do a 55-minute 15 break, and then we come back and do another hour 10 or something.
Nice, yeah, great stuff. And how is the set list gonna fit together? Because 9 records out there, what can people expect music wise when they come?
Well, I mean, actually there's more than that, because there's a few live albums out there and things, and some of them were triple albums. We've got about 18 pieces of product out there in some shape or form. Some of it might be duplicated or different live recordings. So I'm playing roughly 1, 2, 3. I'm playing 14 pieces, and they range from anything from Carnival 9, the Brain Salad Surgery album, right through to the very first album where we had Knife Edge Lucky Man being the first hit that we ever had. A Fanfare, which is being played, which was a #1 in the UK. So there's some, big pieces too, like Tarkas, which is just over 15 minutes long. And there were a couple of surprises, things which I found in Germany, which are not from the Royal Albert Hall, but I decided to use it because we actually had a tiger in the studio, and that was something we requested, and the Germans did it for us. So that was quite amazing to sort of have that. But in general, it's all from the Royal Albert Hall, and it's all from the first night of the Royal Albert Hall. We played 2 nights.
Nice, yeah, no, sounds good to me. And obviously we lost both other members about 10 years ago now,
Yeah,
but you've got
11,
permission.
Yeah.
From their estate, and they're all up for this. How did these conversations come about, and what have they said about this show idea?
Well, I couldn't do anything with holograms that I personally wanted to spend any more time with, and I made it clear to the families that I couldn't do that. I didn't think that Greg or Keith would want that. I went to various hologram shows, for example, the Frank Zappa show in London at the Palladium. I saw the Ronnie James Dio one. I've seen a few of them. And when you walk around in the theatre, if you sit too far left or too far right, it becomes a bit of a shadow. The hologram isn't solid. And I didn't think it was a very honest approach. I didn't think it was very sincere. I wanted to portray Greg and Keith at their very best. And the Royal Albert Hall shows, they are playing unbelievably good. I mean, it was group approved to release as a DVD. It was released in the early 90s on the Sanctuary label. Sanctuary sold out to Universal. And during that space, the DVD got lost. And we were like really angry about all of that. But it got lost. And right now, that really works for me, because I think only about 12,000 copies were sold worldwide. So the footage is still very, very new, as it were. So it seemed the ideal thing for me to use. It was a sincere approach. Mainly, it's nothing to do with AI, because we didn't use AI at all. We didn't need to. But we did, just to remove some of the smoke and some of the red lights. But all of the editing was all done, by hand, as it were, So it just seemed an honest way to do it, and a way of being able to, for example, if you came to a show, you would hear Keith Emerson's keyboards being mixed for that particular venue, because they're all on separate tracks, as if he was there. and the drums are being played live by me. The same for Greg. The voice is being retreated for that particular hall, maybe more echo, more reverb, whatever the case may be. So it just seemed an honest approach. So then I put it to the families and had their full support. And they were totally into it and said, "Oh yeah, Carl, please do it." And yeah, I'm sure they'll be at the concert at the London Palladium next February the 9th.
Yeah, no, great stuff. And we've touched on other dates, but you've got some September dates in the US back again. Are you hoping to add any more dates in elsewhere as well?
Yeah, well, basically, I mean, we've got stuff coming in September, and that hasn't sort of filled up yet, but that's for sure some more will happen. We might look at June or July, what we call fly-in dates. I've had to work out a way to be able to take this show outside, and the way I can do it, I'm using two very, very strong, very expensive projectors, or three of them. For Greg, Keith, and the center screen, which we show vintage footage, or I'm on the center screen along with them, as well as being on the stage playing live. It all works indoors, but once you get outside, there could be problems and it doesn't work quite as well. So we've had to revert to digital screens. So now we know we can use digital screens and they function well in the rain, the wind, and whatever. And the actual, it's almost IMAX quality. So we know that we can actually pull it off outside. So I would think somewhere in June, July, August, there'll be some flying dates where we'll pop in and maybe do a couple of festivals here and there. But that would be it really. And then we go into 2027. As you know, we're starting off in the UK, and that goes on to a cruise. We've got a cruise in March, and I think we're off to Canada in April. So we go as far as April next year, and there's some dates being looked at for October. I mean, I'd like very much to come back to the UK. We didn't think the response would be this good. We've already been offered Sweden, Norway, and Denmark. And I'll just have to look at it, and see what we can do. It's not a complicated show to take around, but I have to fly these projectors, which are the lenses are what cost the money. They're about $10,000 per lens, but they really give a top end quality, and it's the only way you can really be immersed in this situation. So yeah, it's all very exciting to me, and I'm very pleased. I know that there's been some strange remarks made about the concept, people not really thinking it's a money grab, thinking, why is he digging these people up? Why is he doing this? But those are people who've not seen it. You know what it's like on social media? Somebody puts one bad remark and then everyone seems to just follow on from that. It's like they've not experienced the experience. They've not seen it in any shape or form, or maybe not even looked at a video on YouTube. So we've had a little bit of a kickback in places, but 3 years in, we're up and running, and it's proven to be a winner.
Good. Yeah. No, that's great to hear. And let's throw back in time, shall we? Back to when you were starting, your first record coming out in 1970. How were you at the time thinking, putting this band together, knowing that, 50 odd years on, you'd still be playing these tracks and you'd still have fans coming to see you?
Well, I mean, it's always a great feeling when people have stayed with you for that long. And I know because of the amount of streaming and still which goes on, people downloading or whatever. So for me, it's been a marvelous experience. It really has been a real sort of trip through life. I think the music definitely has quality. We were definitely, creating a new art form, which was prog rock. I think there was Pink Floyd who had The Wall, and we had things like Tarkus and sort of pictures at an exhibition. So we were laying down the blueprint basically. And I think, people called us a prog band, and I always thought that was, and this I think is the secret to our longevity. People thought we were a prog band, but we had things like C'est la Vie, which was #1 in Canada. It's a ballad. Lucky Man, Still You Turn Me On, From the Beginning, I Believe in Father Christmas. These are all short songs, 3-4 chord songs. So yes, we played prog. We had Tarkus, we had Pirates, we had Pictures, as I said, but we were quite eclectic. So I think we had a lot more to offer than the average rock band. Plus the fact we were keyboard driven, and at the time when we started, technology was so forceful in the keyboard area more than the guitar area. I think that gave us a bit of a way into America and a way into the UK. I mean, our second concert in the UK was the Isle of Wight.
Of
You
all
know, so
places.
yeah, yeah. So we were considered to be something, special at the time,
Mm.
and the music has stood the test of time, and yeah, I'm very, very, very grateful for it. I notice even Prog at the Proms this year. The main title is Fanfare. The title is Fanfare, Prog at the Proms. Fanfare for the Common Man was a piece that we recorded, written by Aaron Copland, that went to #1 in the UK. So yeah. I mean, ELP has a long history, a very strong history, and basically we've always been connected to quality, which is most important.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And it wasn't just ELP that you've been a part of. You've done projects with Asia and other stuff too, and you've done some of your own bits too since the turn of the century. What's your thoughts on going forward and starting to go back into kind of the new music world again?
What do you say, the new music world? What do you actually mean by that?
Writing and releasing some new
We,
music.
yeah, we won't do that. We won't do that. That's not the project. I have like about 18 products out there, and I will develop this concept. A new piece of music by Carl Palmer with Paul Bielatowicz on guitar and Simon Fitzpatrick is not going to go anywhere. Even if it's fantastic, it's not going to go anywhere. It's not going to be as thoroughbred as what I'm doing now. And I've got so much, in the back catalogue to draw from of ELP and Asia, which was huge. And I'll tell you where this will go eventually. What I will do, as I'm getting on in years, I will end up sort of, I'm going to do what they call a lifetime in music, will be the title, and it will be known as a celebration tour. And I will play maybe 55 minutes of Asian music with other musicians on the stage, and have that video concept going again with John Wetton. And as long as all the families agree, I'll go through the whole performance again, and then I'll have the second half, which will be ELP, and this will be my legacy for what I've done, back into music. So I'll develop my career that way now. It's much better than trying to sort of influence sort of young people, with a new piece of music. It's not worth it, because a lot of young people haven't heard all of this old music yet, and I'm about to bring it to the table. So that's where I am.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Carl Palmer to talk about touring and more. Now, this is the part of the show where we like to throw back in time, and we're doing so back to 2022, where we had a little chat with Faye of the band Steps, and we were talking about new music and more. So here we go. Faye from Steps from 2022. How are you?
So I'm really well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Thanks so much. Good news is that tomorrow you have a platinum collection of all the Steps work from the years gone by released. What can you tell us about the release?
Oh my goodness. Well, some people might know that we've had previous albums of the collections of all our work before, but this is a really big stamp for us. We came back together in 2011, and this platinum album is celebrating 25 years, so you've got all the old classics on there, plus some of our biggest hits from our new era, let's say. So we're very, very proud to have the whole collection together, plus 2 more tracks on there. We've got a song called Hard to Forget, which is out there already. And another bonus track as well. So, really, really proud.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've been playing Hard to Forget as well. What can you tell us about the single?
Oh my goodness. I think it's one of our favourite songs, actually. It sounds a little bit cool for us, really, to be honest. But it was a really, really fabulous song. We had it laid on the table, and we were just like, straight away, this is going to be so much fun to perform. And it kind of hits all the, or it ticks all the boxes that we like to have for a Step song. So, yeah, it's been played quite a lot on the radio, and getting really, really sort of nice feedback from that. So we're really chuffed.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've done collection works previously as well. What was the reason behind doing this platinum version?
Well, absolutely. It's just because we've got so much more music now. We're 7 albums in, and we're so proud of the new music that we've been able to put out. I don't think that we ever envisaged having new original music, back 25 years ago when we first did 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, we were definitely picked to be a one-hit wonder, and just incredible, the support that we have from the fans, and that's really why we keep going, and that's why it's so lovely to be able to put this collection out now.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And you've half-assed answered my next question, and that is that 25 years ago when you started doing this for the first time, I bet you didn't know that you were going to be doing this 25 years later.
Oh my goodness, definitely not. I mean, we were put together, we went to a big audition. We got put together as a band to front a line dancing single. I think after 5, 6, 7, 8 was out, I think we all kind of went, okay, what do we do now? Do we look for another job? And then Pete Waterman sort of scooped us up and said, right, let's make some music with these kids. They're obviously doing okay. And then it's just literally been a roll-on effect from then. We never know what's around the corner or how successful things are going to be. So we're just massively grateful to be out there and really enjoying doing the live performances too.
Yeah, and with those live performances, since kind of the world's got back to normal, you've done your arena tour, which was fantastic. You've done festivals as well, and you've still got some more dates to come. What's it been like being back on stage again?
Oh, it's just amazing. Just looking out and seeing a sea of people singing and dancing with us, to see people's faces, and just the energy of live performance. You just can't beat it. We've got a few more festivals to do before we pack up for the summer, and I think our last one is Birmingham Pride on the 25th of September. So, yeah, I think we've got 4 or 5 to go.
Yeah, and once those are over with, what's happening next with Steps?
Well, we've had a really amazing run. This is going to be 3 albums in 3 years. We did What the Future Holds, What the Future Holds Part 2, which wasn't really expected, but obviously it was a sign of the times and so lovely for us to be able to release more. Then the Platinum Collection, and now it's time for a little break from the public eye at least, and we'll be getting together behind the scenes and working out what happens next. But I think we're just going to have a little break and just get inspired from other places. So we've had a really good run.
I think it's needed indeed.
Yeah.
And all 5 of you have gone off and done other bits and pieces, and obviously when Steps haven't been doing much, you yourself have done things like the Chase and Strictly Come Dancing. Do you think you or any of the other guys might be getting involved with more kind of reality TV side of things?
I love that you put the Chase with Strictly. That was interesting. So from my point of view, I think I wasn't really somebody who's looking to do reality TV, and Strictly was like the only one that I really wanted to do. Knocked on the door for 10 years before they even put my name in the hat. So I was really happy to do that, and it was such an amazing run. But that's kind of it for me for reality TV for a bit. But I think I'm going to be doing a lot of theatre in the break. I'll be out and about doing my thing.
Fantastic. And obviously you run about getting back together and doing some more little bits kind of behind the scenes. When do you think the world can see more Steps stuff in the future?
I literally can't tell you that because we haven't decided. We're trying to get this year over and done with first.
Yeah.
I think the exciting thing is what happens is usually management will phone us and we'll have a meeting on Zoom and we'll start playing new music and getting excited about, what can happen next. So we're just taking it slowly now and taking a little bit of a pause after this one.
Good. And having been doing this for 25 years now, there must be some kind of advice that you'd want to give new artists. So if there's a new artist listening to this interview, what advice would you give them?
Well, it's a brand new world really out there with music. It's changed so much since we were around back in the 90s. I think for us, it's just be true to yourself, be your authentic music selves. I think we were never in fashion, so we could never go out of fashion. It was people will either love you or hate you, but just stick to it and keep going. We've had such an amazing run and we're so grateful to still be around, but I think it's literally because we didn't ever waver from the pop path. We didn't try to be anything that we're not.
And I hope you enjoyed the interview there with Faye from Steps from 2022. And that's the end of the show for another week, I am afraid. But don't worry, we will be back next week with more interviews. But if you can't wait until then, social media at The Soundlab Yes on all the socials. You can also check out the website, thesoundlabuk.co.uk. And we'll be back next week for another episode of The Soundlab's Interviews Unedited. Goodbye.